It's winter time here, as you can probably tell. So the mice have moved into the battery box. I've got to check and see what they ate, because I do need the electronics to work. I modified this trailer a couple of years ago where I plug this right into the remote on the tractor and just run the dump hoist off the remote, and I can run as many loads a day as I want. I just turn the remote way down. I turn the remote down to 20 or 30% or something like that. That tractor's about, I think that's a 47 gallon a minute pump on that tractor, so this certainly doesn't want anywhere near that. But then when I need to, I don't know if it's going to cooperate with me or not. We'll see if I can set you guys right here, and we'll take a little chance if this coupling will work here. So what we've got in here is, I've got a lead here for the trailer side, and I just have to uncouple the extension hose that I run off the tractor. But being as it's cold, these hoses don't like to go together easily, and then these just couple. See if it makes a liar out of me. Yeah, it's not the easiest setup, but I don't actually change this all that often. There we go. All right. So now that's back together. So now I'm sure this battery is stone cold dead because it's been a long time. Oh, I lied again. So now you see the pump cycles and body runs off the battery. Now it can go right back behind the truck. Looks like I've got to put a new end on my 7-pin coupler. I think I've got one of those on the shelf. I might throw that on real quick, seeing as I'm going into town with this tomorrow. So I might throw one of those on real quick. So I think that one of the realities about certainly farming and construction and a whole bunch of other things is that everything breaks. You just have to be prepared to fix it. So this trailer coupler's had the radish. These go so often. I keep a couple on the shelf because it seems like either I've got one broken or one of my wife's clients will be trucking in and she'll go to leave, and I'll happen to, sometimes, I don't know, they leave a horse here for a night or something, and I'll go out and I can't help but see that they've got something broke on their trailer. And half the time you end up taking one off of your trailer, putting it on theirs, and getting them back underway. So, you keep parts around. It's not a big deal. So you can get yourself all turned around with these. You can find all kinds of things online as to how they're wired. They're not hard. I'm kind of a pack rat, so my inclination is to keep this and reuse it, but the reality is I don't need to, and it'll make my life easier to just move it over terminal at a time onto the new one. So I'll just do that. So, that's not going to work either, you dummy. Can't move it over one bit at a time with that foolish thing still on there. So what I'll end up doing is I'll take a couple of pictures here with my phone, and I'll get the right screwdriver, and then we'll get back after it. Bear with me. So this is a 2007 Brimar. What do they call this one? It's a LP 714, something like that. So it means it's their low profile 7-foot wide, 14-foot long, it's a 12,000 pound GVW trailer. And you know, there's a lot of great trailers out there. I've always been pretty happy with this one. It's getting a little whooped. One of the things about this, I mean, right from the factory, they were decent enough to put spade connectors on the end of the wiring harness, so when you do have to change these things, you're not dealing with the wire ends being a mess. So, you know, it's something I certainly appreciate having to work on it, that they were decent about not skimping right from the factory with how they built the trailer. So I took a few photos of how this was put together. See, we're getting a little corrosion in there anyway. And we'll see if I can't get it back together correctly in the end. Slide the new body on, because nothing more frustrating than getting your new harness end put on, only to find out that you were too thick-headed to change this part out. Alright, so those are kind of sitting there almost like they want to go back together like that. I do remember this blue wire went in just left of the notch. So that's a good a place as any to start. I wasn't so daft, I had to back all these screws out first. Yeah, so I bought this trailer brand new in 2007. Used it to haul debris and junk. And honestly, for the last 5 years, the only thing this has done is haul manure and logs, and mostly manure. So I have not been kind to this. The sidewall on this driver's side is getting awfully thin. There's some couple of spots where it's honestly rotted right through. So I'm going to have to either put some steel into it, get that rot fixed, or if I really get crazy, I suppose I could, I don't know, I've got this harebrained scheme that I might someday figure out a way that I could, almost like a, if you've ever seen a roll-off truck, you know, those trucks that they do the, move the containers with. If you've ever seen one of those, I've got this notion that you could modify a hay wagon, right? One of these steel-bodied hay wagons to just about have that same effect. You know, I've got a gooseneck deck over equipment trailer that I've contemplated. Hey, what if I, you know, put some slide bunks on this thing? Would that work? And I don't know if it would. I don't know if it would work on this thing. It might be too short a wheelbase. Those bodies are 18 feet. This thing's only a 14-foot body. I'd maybe be looking at having to get creative with lengthening the frame on it, but this already has a dump hoist on it, you know, and I could, I don't know, I could change the pitch of the thing to get it to line up. Probably nothing I really need to get involved with, but so anyway, with these harnesses, I don't know if you'd actually get dinged if you were somehow to get stopped, if they could ding you on this thing being broken, but if you don't have enough truck for what you're doing, which happens, and you're trying to get creative and your brakes aren't working because your harness is shorting out because it's all corroded, because it's cracked, or it's not making good contact because it's cracked, you're going to wish you took the time to fix it. Now I'm hauling no weight, and this thing's only 4,000 pounds empty, so for me it's just the principle of it. It's broke, let's fix it. It only takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it takes. It takes a few minutes to get it fixed. We're back together. We like it. Let's see if I can get this to clamp on there in a more watertight fashion, and then we'll compress those wires. It doesn't hurt my feelings to have those wires under a little compression if they'll take it, because then if anything, oh, you look like you were tight. Guess we're going to be checking all of those again. But I'd rather have, just for that, there's the case in point right there. If we're going to have the potential of a wire loosening up, I'd like it to be under compression so that it's holding itself where it belongs instead of trying to pull off. Somewhere in there. Now, index that a little. Yeah, so this trailer is only a 12,000 pound GVW trailer. I bought it that way on purpose because at the time I was pulling this with a truck that had a 12,400 GVW, and I did not have at the time a commercial license, which means I had to be under 26,000 pounds combined vehicle weight. Once you hit 26,001 pounds and you are towing a trailer 10,001 pounds or greater, you're a Class A CDL, which I have now, but at the time I didn't. So I had to get a lighter trailer than I probably would have ultimately gotten, but yeah, such is life. So that is fixed. That looks a whole lot better than when we started. Yeah, I'm going to just chuck all this stuff, and we should be ready to rip tomorrow for our little project that we got going on. So thanks very much, folks, for sticking through this with me. We'll see if anybody takes a peek at this or not. I have no expectations, but I'm enjoying it actually. You know, if you do like it, check back. I'm going to keep making some little videos as we start getting towards spring. And yeah, we're going to have equipment to service and some field edge work that we're doing, and fertilizer, and before you know it, we'll be mowing hay. So thanks very much for hanging in there, and I hope to see some folks coming to check out what we're doing in the future. Thanks.